Hello and welcome to the the Bad Psychics podcast, where we are already falling apart.
Oh, that was incredible timing, Z.
I am your host, Mal, aka Not Z. I am joined by two other people who are not Z, and the person who is Z. To
I'm Z.
my right, I have Eloise. How are you doing?
I'm Z.
Yeah,
Hi.
hello, other Z. And below me, I have Seeb. How are you doing,
Hi.
Seeb?
I'm all good. I am definitely not Z.
Yes.
I think if I tried to claim I was Z, Z would kill me. Um, so yeah, I
I'd
won't. I
try and
won't do
kill
that.
you for much less than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is probably correct. Yeah.
Yes, that is fair. And our esteemed owner, co-host, not co-host, esteemed owner, normal host, founder of the podcast, whatever other platitudes I can say to try and get some points out of it next time. Actual Z, how are you doing?
I just needed to see Eloise's face in response to that.
The urge to hang up right now is pretty high.
the urge to rage quit after 30 seconds.
It's a record. It'd be a record.
I'm fine, thank you.
I mean, the rage quit would still be better than the Wimbledon knockout performances on the women's side, wouldn't it?
All right, I'm actually gonna go. Jesus, bullied already.
Alright, we are unfortunately not doing anything tennis-wise. I'd probably be worse than Eloise on that. Well, we're doing the European football predictions for the 26-2027 season, for all the winter leagues, of course. As we are doing this now, some of them are started, but never mind, it won't matter, because we'll probably do predictions that will all be wrong anyway, as they normally are.
We don't claim to be good psychics.
No, we do not. That is indeed the name of the show. It's down there. So, without any further ado, I think it is time for spreadsheet in a hole, spreadsheet in a hole.
It's spreading.
In a diggy hole.
Right. So, we are starting off with La Liga, and our first prediction is who will win La Liga. I expect it to be one of two teams, but let's see which one of these two teams we have all gone for. Okay, so Eloise is the only one gone different for this one with Real Madrid, and me, Sean and Z have gone for Barcelona. So I'll start with you, Eloise. Any particular choice for Real Madrid?
I mean, one, I wanted to be different, and two, I prefer the squad of Real Madrid. I generally think it's a better team. Now, there is the one big caveat, and that is there is indeed a Jose Mourinho in charge, which we will see how that goes. That could either be incredible or the worst thing ever. So, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to be a little bit different, and yeah, it's just a much better team in my opinion.
I mean, Jose Mourinho last season had the great record of not losing a league game and still finishing third.
Yep.
It is impressive.
Yeah, it's certainly probably unique. Maybe it's only happened. I think it maybe happened once before. But yes, that is certainly something. So seeing as you've piped up, Sean. So are you not scared of the Mourinho effect for Real Madrid? Do you think Barcelona are just going to be Barcelona?
I mean, the last time he was at Madrid, he had 3 seasons, won the league once, against that great Pep's team, and I just don't know if this was the right move from Real Madrid. I mean, I don't think they'll win it anyway, even if they'd have hired somebody else. And I can't stand Real Madrid, so I was never choosing them to win anyway. But yeah, I just think Hansi Flick has got Barcelona playing in a way which suits the Spanish league a lot more than I think Mourinho will set Madrid up in. I also think Mourinho's got to figure out a way to deal with the Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe situation, which is you have arguably two of the best players in the world, both wanting to play in the same position, which will lead it's a situation in which I'm not certain they will figure out fully. There'll be a lot of games in Spain where their individual quality will just be able to carry them through games, but in the tougher games against your Barcelona's, your Atletico Madrid's, I think that will be where you can't carry both of them.
Makes sense. And Z, it was, I think, 8 points between Barca and Real Madrid last season. Do you think it'd be closer this time, or no?
No, I think I think in this era with the players they have, there's going to be a fundamental disconnect between how the players naturally want to play and how Mourinho will want them to play. Mourinho's tactics are still mostly the same that he had so much success with earlier on. I think those tactics can still suit some leagues, some big clubs. I still think he could probably do really well in like Serie A with one of the bigger teams playing the Mourinho way. But I think trying to tell those players to, hold on to 1-0 leads is not going to go down well. Also, there's all the weirdness going on with Real Madrid's transfer window that it's supposedly both not closed and closed.
Is this some
credit
form
to
of
the.
like a FIFA embargo or something?
I'm not sure exactly what it's about, but credit to the person on Twitter who went viral by calling it Schrodinger's transfer window. But yeah, I actually like as much as we said it would be between two teams, I genuinely believe that there is a possibility that Atletico are more likely to be second place this year.
Okay. Yeah.
I think, given the squad profiles of the teams at the top, if Mourinho is actually coming to Spain and gonna have maybe more of a chance of being successful, I think he would have been better at the other side of Madrid. Because I think their squad profiles suit, because the way Simeone plays, more, it's probably is more similar of a style to Mourinho. And you think as well with when Xabi Alonso was there last season, there was quite a lot of disconnect between a manager that wanted to try and stick to his principles and the players, rather than the Carlo Ancelotti type where he just raises the eyebrow and then they go and score 3 goals.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't really consider that, but yeah, there's a if Mourinho does go completely the wrong way, feasibly they could be taken over by Atleti or I don't know whoever else is going to be up there. Probably just Atleti, isn't it? Really?
Villarreal, I don't know.
Yeah.
Bilbao, I think, would
Villarreal, maybe Bilbao, Sociedad.
Yeah, sort of the cluster of teams that normally finish in European places.
I don't think it would be that bad. For the record, I think Real probably will come second, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's like 12, 15 points, something like that.
Makes sense. So moving on to our relegation picks for La Liga. So obviously we get picking 3 teams to go down for this one. I see me and Z have exactly the same teams. I think we all have Malaga to go down. And 3 of us have Elche, apart from Sean. I think, and then me and Elvis have Elvis apart from Eloise have Levante, and Eloise have Deportivo. I think Sean's the only one has Racing. So I'll start with you, Sean. I guess Racing's your sort of unique pick. Is there any reason? And they've just come up from La Liga 2, whatever it's called now.
Yeah, they were the playoff winners, if I'm not
Yes,
mistaken.
I think so.
Which is kind of why I went for them. Over your likes of your Elches and stuff like that. I think Levante and Malaga were 16th and 15th, or 17th even last season. So yeah, I just I went with I went with two promoted teams and then the
Yes.
team that finished 17th.
Uh,
Malaga went up as there, but yeah, so I just kind of predicted two teams that would come up will go straight back
Yeah.
down, and then hedged my bets on one of the promoted teams staying up.
Yeah.
And I think Deportivo from the teams that have come up are probably the better one out of the three.
Okay. Makes sense. And Eloise, Deportivo.
Yeah, so I simply just went with the teams that didn't, the two teams that went up that didn't win the league, because Racing won the league. They very much won, and then Deportivo was second, and Malaga were fourth. So with so it was more so my pick was basically pick the the promoted teams, but then don't pick Racing Santander because they play really interesting attacking fluid football that is like batshit. And it'll either be amazing or will horribly go wrong. And I just kind of want them to stay up. So that's kind of just the bias kind of. I want to see like the most crazy football work at like a La Liga level. So that's why I went with them to stay up. But yeah, Elche always seems a team that could be a bet to go down. So
Yeah.
that's very much my thinking with my picks.
And Z, why have you gone for the same as me?
Because I copied you. No. For me, I think Malaga are the weakest of the three teams, but have gone up. I don't think they've ever truly recovered from trying to play money ball on a tiny budget and the mid noughties. I think throwback to last season's episode, but we talked a reasonable amount about how stupid La Liga was last season. As a reminder, there were 5 points between 19th place and 10th place, and 10 points between 19th place in Europe.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams arguably got a bit lucky that there were teams taking points sort of off each other. Levante and Elche had gone up into that season. They finished 15th and 16th. I think Levante especially were very lucky to stay up, basically only on head-to-head points. I just think I'm kind of viewing it as if there are 5 promoted teams this season, because I think they lucked out into a stupid season, and I think the 2 that went up before are weaker than Santander and Deportivo.
Yeah, that makes sense. That kind of summarizes my one. So you really could have picked anyone from like the bottom, like half of the table, I would say, and maybe not Bilbao or Sevilla, maybe. But like you could have made a reasonable shout for any of them to go down. That's how close it was. But yeah, so moving across the Mediterranean to Serie A, we have predicted these teams to win it. So me, Eloise, and Sean have gone for Inter Milan, and Z have gone for Juventus, who I think did they finish like 7th last season?
Sixth, I think.
6, yes. Did they?
They're in the Europa League.
They're in the Europa League, because they would have finished 6th then. So quite a jump there, Z. Any transfers or anything that made a debate stand out to you?
I think for me, it's as much as anything, it's a lack of faith in Inter. They've brought in Akanji and Stones from City. Aside from that, they've brought in a young Serbian midfielder and a cheap goalkeeper, like journeyman goalkeeper from Lazio.
Hmm.
In terms of players they've lost Sommer, a Serbi, Damian De Vrij, Esposito, Carboni, Dumfries, Dimaggio, and Quieto. That would worry me about Inter, and so then I started looking at the other teams. I think Napoli are getting worse year on year. I think players don't want to sign for them as much as other teams, especially after they treated Osimhen. And so then I kind of looked at who other teams have brought in. For me, I feel like Juventus have done some really interesting business. Like I personally, I know it didn't work for him in the Prem, but I personally rate Kola Muani. I think he's a really good replacement for Vlahovic, and I mean, I realise that the Spurs fans get a laugh, but you know, that was. I mean, Harry Kane could have been back at Spurs, and he'd have been shit with how they were playing last season. So,
No.
and Zika Chalik, who I think as a free transfer was a really good pickup, and the young Bosnian fella who people have been raving about. I'm gonna try and say his name, Karim Ali Begovic, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what I think will be a much closer Serie A season. I will say, I kind of hope Juventus don't win. I don't like them as a club, but unlike Sean, I'm not averse to picking teams I don't like if I think they're going to win.
You've forgotten one very, very important piece of business that Inter might be doing. They might be bringing in World Cup cult hero Jed Spence.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. That is indeed the better Tottenham player that they could have brought in.
That is obviously tongue in cheek.
Yes.
I mean,
So,
I maintain Jed Spence was unbelievable at the World Cup. I don't deny it. But also, every time I've watched him play for Spurs, he looks like he's trying to play a different sport. So
Yeah. I mean, half the Spurs team looked like they wanted to play a different sport last season. That's not really something we.
Oh no! Half the team looked like they wanted to. He was the one that looked like he actually was.
Fair enough.
So, Sean, we'll move to you. Inter, have you got any counter to Z's proposition that they've done some dodgy business?
No, I do agree that they've lost a fair few key players. I still think they are just about the best team in the league still. I think their firepower is probably gonna be the thing that carries them through. But I do agree. I think this will be a very, very close league. I just fancy them to edge it over, like the chasing pack.
Sounds good. And Eloise, did you consider any of the other teams whatsoever? Maybe Como?
I didn't consider Como because I just looked at the squad and I was very whelmed.
Oh.
I think, like squad wise, AC Milan, but then again I was a bit whelmed there too, and then like Napoli and Roma is like there's a chance, but also, eh. So yeah, I didn't really feel very passionate about any of the teams and any of their chances, so I just went safe with Inter. Because I feel like still, even if they have lost a lot of players, it is still a good team. But yes, can we take a moment of silence for the unfortunate transfer of Sebastiano Esposito?
Yeah, so I was going. As soon as he said it's all this season, I went. I really should change my pick because it would piss off Chuck. But yeah, Inter was just a
They
safe
still
choice this
have
time.
they still have Francesco
Yeah,
Pio.
Yeah, it's
and
fair.
he actually plays. Like he actually will play games for
No,
them.
it's
So
true. Yes, so
it's a good thing.
yeah, so we can still terrorize Chuck. Then that's good.
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, look, we'd be terrorizing Chuck even if Inter didn't have any of them. We'd be terrorizing them no matter where they
No,
played.
it's fair. No, it's
Yeah, exactly.
fair. No, it's fair. Moving on to the relegation teams. I think we've all gone for exactly the same teams.
We have, yes.
Is this the first time this has happened in like a 3-team prediction? Because I think at least one of us goes
Probably.
slightly out of the way. All right, so
I
we've
don't
all gone for Lecce, Frosinone, and Monza. I never know how to pronounce Frosinone. So I guess I'll go to each of you for one of these teams. So I'll start with you, Eloise. Lecce. I saw they were very, very, very low odds to get relegated for some reason. I didn't really quite look into it.
No.
But they were like below the guessing more money than you paid in, if that makes sense. In terms of odds.
Yeah, I have no clue why they aren't more odds on, but they very much finished 4 points ahead of Cremonese last season, 17th. So they just felt like a very safe option because I didn't want all the promoted teams to be for me to predict them. So yeah, that's my reason for Milk.
Okay, and Sean, Monza, everyone's favourite racetrack.
Yeah, they came up last season. Again, it was one of the ones where I'm more predicting a team to come up and go straight back down. Yeah, that was more based on that, and then also I can wind up Chuck again when Monza are losing.
That is fair. That was another way to wind up Chuck.
Yeah.
And Z, I'm going to get you to pronounce Frosinone properly, and tell you why they're going down.
I mean, I think you're saying it right, just very anglicized. Like I think it's more like Frosinone, but it is basically what you're saying.
I love that you did the hand gesture
Oh,
whilst you were
you
pronouncing
gotta
it.
do the hand gesture. You absolutely like if you're not doing the hand gesture, what are you doing? But yeah, I like looked at the squad. I feel it doesn't bode especially well that none of their players seem to have squad numbers at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of their business appears to have been loans, and none of them are like they seem to be bringing in players that are not good enough for other Serie A teams. It's not like they're sort of loaning in from abroad. Literally, the only player in their team from a quick scan that I recognize is Kevin Akpaguma. Like if he is the high point of your squad, you are probably going to struggle. I also think they have like it's a really weirdly big squad
Hmm.
as well. So, and I tend to think that if your squad's too big, you'll struggle.
Yeah. I think that is an Italian thing, though. They just tend to have loads of players and just send loads of them on loan, don't they? Because I don't know, it's just how it always has been. So the one team we didn't mention that I've got up is Venezia, the club who most people know of doing kits. Did any of you consider them going down at all, or
I like them though.
nah, that's fair.
That's my reasoning. They're a cool club.
Yes.
I consider it.
Yeah, I considered it.
Like,
Go on, Zeb.
for me, like it came down to Venezia or Monza. Um, I just think Venezia have like more recent experience of uh sort of the Serie A level. So and I think whilst Monza have a decent squad, like they've got some very respectable players. I think the Venezia squad is stronger, has more players that you'd actually recognise.
So Venezia last season won the league by 6 points over but were 6 points clear of Monza, who finished third. And there was 16 goals. They scored 16 goals more and conceded a goal less.
Yeah.
It was between the two of them. I just think there's probably more goals in the Venezia squad, which might give them a chance of staying up over a Monza or a Lecce.
Makes sense. Moving further north to the Bundesliga, and this is one of the special leagues for this podcast. So for the other leagues we just predicted, if you get a team right, you get 5 points. For this one, if you get a team right, you get 5 points. But if you pick someone other than, presumably the team we've all predicted, you get 10 points. And I'll reveal the teams now. And we've all gone for the safe option. Okay. So probably not much to dwell on here. I'll throw over to you, Sean. Any threat at all from anyone else to disrupt the Bayern hegemony?
No. They had 112 league goals last season, won it at a canter. I don't think, and I as we'll go on to later, they were one of the teams I was considering for another prediction. I think they are the second best team in Europe. I might have put some of my Leverkusen bias into this if Xabi was still there. But they've had their squad. They've had a lot of their better players taken off of them in recent years. I just don't think there's anybody that's going to even come close to troubling them. To the point where I actually think Bayern could do an unbeaten campaign this year.
How close were they last year?
They won loss.
One loss.
Yeah.
No, that is very possible. And that is weird.
I do also want to, give a polite golf clap to, I think, the first ever use of the word hegemony on that Psychics podcast.
But Bayern's record last season was 28 wins, 5 draws, 1 loss, 122 for, 36 against.
Okay.
They won the league by 16 points last year.
I think they lost to Augsburg.
Okay.
Go
So
on,
it wasn't even to anyone good.
Excuse me?
Okay. It wasn't even to anyone very good.
Okay.
I mean, Augsburg didn't even make European football last season, so
that is fair. Whilst we're looking it up, Z, I've looked at their business. That is indeed reasonable enough. Any worries on that front? I know they signed 2 players for over 50 million euros who I've vaguely heard of.
I mean, I feel like they could sell half their team, and if they get the right ones, still win the league. They're too good right now. There's nobody that's going to compete with them.
Yeah.
I also like the way Vincent Company's got them set up.
Yeah.
So the way they play.
Yeah, very much so. It's suiting them as well as it can do in the Bundesliga. Although
even in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, what did they do in the Champions League last year? I remember.
They made the semi-finals, lost to
Yep.
PSG.
So yeah, that's certainly good.
You had you had the crazy 5-4, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah. Forgot about that. Eloise, anything else to add at all other than just buying wins, lol? You muted.
Why am I muted? Harry Kane. There we go.
Fair enough. I'm going to assume he'll pop up as an answer later on in the podcast.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Most likely.
Most likely, yes. Moving on to the relegation places. Obviously, with the Bundesliga, 2 good automatically, 1 in the relegation playoffs, but we're just going to predict the relegation playoff as well, assuming that that team loses. So again, pretty similar. I think everyone's got Paderborn to go down. I'm the only one not to pick Ellsberg to go down, and that's just because I want them to stay up because it'd be funny because they're small.
It would be.
Same, but points.
Yeah, and I have a couple of a couple of people have Werder Bremen. So Sean, any particular reason why Werder Bremen over anyone else?
There are only 3 points above Heidenheim last year. And Heidenheim and St. Pauli, I believe, were the 2 promoted teams going into it last year. I mean, long gone the days of Wolfsburg being a team that challenged up towards the top of the league.
Yeah.
I think they're on a similar trajectory to Schalke, but I think I just edged Schalke over them to... Oh no, I'm looking at Wolfsburg. Werder Bremen were 15th. I think I made the wrong prediction with that one, but no. Werder were 6 points off, but again, like... got my W teams mixed up on the table I was looking at. I made the right prediction. I was looking at the wrong thing. I just think Wolfsburg. I think Wolfsburg will be a better side, and I think Schalke will have a better chance of staying up as well.
I was going to say, Sean, you very much made the right prediction because Wolfsburg went down last season. They lost the playoff. So,
they lost the playoff. Okay, that's why I went with. I knew I could. When I was doing it, I couldn't remember if I'd done it wrong, but that's why. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, and it was Z. I guess you can talk about Elversberg or Paderborn, seeing as most of us have them.
I mean, are you wanting me to take one or just cover both of them?
Yeah, you can cover both of them. I think I'll get
Okay, fine. Then, yeah, I feel like obviously 3 teams went up. I think Schalke are far too strong to go back down. And then for me, like Elfsberg, they don't. It feels like they have a very Zwei Bundesliga squad still. It doesn't feel like they've had the heft to improve. Paderborn's squad is a little better, but I still think it's nowhere near strong enough. And the fact that like Schalke is so far clear kind of means that there's fewer slots available for them to jump into.
Okay. And Eloise, Hamburg, the Hamburger team.
So, I looked at the team, but I didn't look at the team enough because I just realised I've predicted a Yusuf Poulsen team to get relegated, which is a bit silly. He's the greatest striker to ever strike us, so it's a bit silly. The name I did notice was Patson Daka, which he's not a very good footballer. So yeah, but now I see that they've got Yusuf Poulsen's captain. There's a chance. I was looking at their squad and I got distracted. They have a player from Comoros called Warmed Amari. And obviously, it's not going to be pronounced warmed, but I find it really funny that there's a player called Warmed, and that was basically what all my attention was on. So I feel like Elversberg Paderborn are very easy to predict to go down, and then I was then struggling with the third team because there's lots of big clubs that could fall down, like has happened for the past few seasons to the Bundesliga, second Bundesliga. But yeah, I just kind of guess with Hamburg and Patzendaka is really all my thought process there.
I think with the Bundesliga, as you say, a few of the teams that have gone up and managed to stay up are now replacing some of the bigger teams that
Yeah.
haven't recruited properly over the last few years.
Yeah.
Like Schalke have been a bit up and down. Hamburg have gone down. Wolfsburg last season, like,
So,
pardon?
Hertha.
Yeah. Like, there's kind of a little bit of a changing of the guard in Germany from some of those former like fallen giants. That yeah, it's made Germany a little bit more interesting to watch down the bottom of the table, more so than up the top where you know it's Bayern Winslow.
Yeah. Sure is. So I think I had two different predictions to you guys. I picked Köln because they're similar to Werder Bremen, really. They're kind of nearish the relegation playoff, and they could always be one to slip down. And Augsburg, I don't exactly remember why I picked Augsburg at all. I must have seen it somewhere in some random odds at some point. So apologies to Z. But I don't know. As you say, Bundesliga is always just one way. Just some random big team can go down. I know I'll feel like a massive team, but it could always be them. So moving on to Ligue 1. This is another league where if you don't pick the obvious one, you get 10 points. Has anyone gone brave? No. Great. So we've all picked PSG. What a surprise. Again, probably not worth dwelling on this too much. I'll throw to you, Eloise, on PSG. Any particular interesting to talk about other than they'll just thrash everyone and win?
It's generally one of the things that I feel like I can talk about the least because I think this and the Bundesliga promotion winning one, so the Liga and the Bundesliga, I just did no research because I'm like, yeah, they're gonna win it. PSG got a stupid squad for Liga, and even though they're selling a couple players, they're still gonna win, and it's still gonna be ridiculous. Yeah, it wasn't even a question for me.
That's fair. And Z, Lens run them relatively close last season. It was only 6 points, which for Ligue 1 is a bit of a surprise. I know Ligue 1 has the sort of the teams that sort of come up and challenge for a little bit, then just fall back down dramatically. Montpellier, for example. Is there going to be anyone like this again, or do you think it'll be a season where they just batter everyone?
I mean, yes, you say Lens run them close, but Lens have also had their manager pinched, like Crystal Palace. Strasbourg had a good season. Obviously, they're Chelsea B, basically, but Gary O'Neill's gone to Ipswich. I just think there's been so much overhaul in terms of management and squads in a lot of league, and yes, PSG are losing some players, but also they're adding some as well, and they're just so far clear, and there's no teams that have the stability to give them a run, I don't believe.
PSG last year, current holder of the Ballon d'Or, Ousmane Dembele, only played 12 games in the league and still won it. Like,
yeah,
they're most likely selling Barcola to Liverpool, I think is the thing, and then they're replacing him by signing the man that won Spain the World Cup in the summer. Like, they're just like they're a cut above everyone else in that division.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, and as I think the last couple of times a non-PSG team has won the league, their squad has been completely decimated that summer. Like, you'd be very hard pushed to even predict a team to challenge because it will come out of the blue a little bit as well.
And that's why you get 10 points for picking someone else other than PSG. But No one ever will, because why would you?
We'll have to up points or for that next year.
Yep, for sure. Moving on to the relegation spots from Liga. So I think me and Z have gone for the same again. Eloise, I think, has got Trois is the only difference, and Sean's put Auxerre down, and not put them on in. So I'll start off with you, Sean. Seeing you put Auxerre in, I think they've just come up, haven't they? From
No, they finished 15th in Liga last season.
Okay. Yeah.
I kind of went with it was either gonna be them on. I was looking at Le Havre, and down the teams down the bottom like Angers and stuff like that, and a couple of other teams that have come, like the couple of teams that have come up from League 2. But yeah, at Nice, I can't remember. Did Nice go down?
Nice.
Relegation playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, it was one of them where I just think they were just above. They were only 2 points above Nice. It's one of those where I just think they're probably going to be there or thereabouts again.
Makes sense. And Eloise, I think you are the other person to pick Trois. City's weird sort of semi B team, but not really a B team. I think they've also they actually have just been promoted. So is there a reason why you've picked them to come down, or just because they've just been promoted?
I picked the two teams that got promoted. That's simply the logic there. Trois always seems like kind of like a yo-yo club. As someone who doesn't really focus on Ligue 1. Yeah, that's simply the thinking there.
Okay. Makes sense. And Z, I'll let you talk about Villas, Le Mans, and Le Havre.
Yeah, I think Le Mans to me just they don't have the strength of sides. They don't have the money to compete. I would be surprised if they stay up. With Lavra, they seem to have a bit of a pattern where they come up, they do respectably for a season, then they go down and just sort of rinse and repeat. So theoretically, this is a going down season.
So they are the team that succumb most to second season syndrome.
Indeed, yeah.
Makes sense. I think Sean touched upon it earlier, but Nice were probably the surprise relegation playoff place last year. I had them probably recovering quite well, as these teams tend to do. Was there anyone consider it more than Sean did as Eloise or Z? No. Okay, makes sense.
I don't think Nice will be down there again.
Hmm.
I just couldn't remember if they won the playoff or not.
Okay. Yeah. So I just think it's just a one season blip, and they'll be like mid-table.
Yeah, it would. I would be very surprised if they were down there again.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Moving on to the Eredivisie. This is a league that might not have an actual an actual winner that everyone predicts this time. Well, I nearly did. So I am the only one to go different here with Feyenoord. Eloise, Sean, and Z have gone for PSV. So I'll throw to Z this time with PSV. They did win it last season. I think it was very comfortable. Like good, like 10, 20 points. Same again.
It was 19.
It was 19. Yeah. Same again this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I kind of viewed it as managers. PSV have Marcel Brands, who won the title last season. I think he's a very decent manager. Meanwhile, the other two teams that you would say would arguably have a chance on paper, Ajax and Feyenoord. Well, Ajax have just hired Mikel, who got Girona relegated in La Liga last season, despite having the City link. So that's a bit dodgy. And Feyenoord, even more questionably, have Giovanni van Bronckhorst, who last managed 2 years ago for a ill-fated 20-game spell at Besiktas, and before that was manager of Rangers in Scotland for exactly a year before getting sacked. So I just don't think either team has a manager that will do a good enough job.
Ajax aren't even the team they once were. They've dropped off the last few years. Last season, I think they finished fifth. Then were in the playoffs qualifiers. I don't even know if they made the.
They did
I
just
don't
about.
even think. I don't think they made Europe
I think they did just
because of
about.
the
Would have been
playoffs.
the Conference League.
Because Alkmaar have made the Europa League group stage and Twente were in the qualifiers. I didn't know if there was a Dutch Conference League side. Well, I don't know who the Dutch Conference League side is.
Yeah, I think it would have been them. They did win the playoffs, but at the same time, it is a you're right. It could just be not enough space. I also like how they played their player final at Volendam Stadium because there was a Harry Styles concert in in Amsterdam at that time.
Well, I don't think they would have predicted they would be needing the playoff, would they?
No. No, I mean,
I also think Ajax are losing Mika Gertz to PSG as well. Think that's a deal that's not gone through yet, but is close to being done.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. I will admit I did just pick Final just to be different, honestly. I don't know. It's I probably should have picked FaZe, but I didn't realize that. Honest, I didn't check the manager and didn't realize Giovanni Bronckhorst was as hadn't done bugger all since leaving Final the first time, and most of the time with managers in their second spells, it never really goes very well, does it? At least in people I've seen. So yeah, probably a mistake on my part. So Eloise, outside of PSV or Final, did you consider anyone else? Did you consider Ajax at all?
No, I was very sure on PSV. I think unless I've just been not paying attention, I don't think anyone mentioned Alkmaar
No.
because they're an interesting one because unless he's been permanently upgraded, they've still got an interim manager because I think they sacked their manager around January. So that will indeed be interesting because that's a team that could also, if they improve, push around near the top. But I reckon it's going to be the same kind of dominance from PSV because that team's quite good compared to like Ajax and like Feyenoord. It's nowhere near.
Makes sense. So moving down the table to the bottom bit of the Eredivisie, there's three of us have gone for Willem Dry, Willem Dry. Sorry, that's German. I think three of us also gone for Zwolle, two for Den Haag, who I think all those were the three promoted teams this season, if I am not mistaken.
The three promoted
Den
teams.
Haag, Camber, Willem.
Camber, yeah.
Oh, okay. So Camber has also been picked by two people. I think I'm the only one who go for Telstar. And Z's gone for Excelsior as a different team. So start of you, Z, seems you've got one team different from the rest of them. Any particular reason for those bottom three? Can you hear us, Z?
Can now. Sorry, my headphones cut out again for a second. Was there a specific question there?
It was just kind of is there any particular reason why you've chosen your bottom three, Z?
Oh, I mean, I think Den Haag for me are the least equipped of the fresh promotees to stay up. I think Camden and Willem Toye both have stronger prospects. So then I kind of looked at the sorts of teams that have been hovering and getting lucky for a while. Zola had conceded 71 goals last season, second only to, unfortunately, my beloved Heracles. And I just think it's very rare you're going to concede 71 goals in a season and stay up. And then Excelsior, I kind of think just for me lack the overall quality. I mean, like their star signing for this season is a 33-year-old Ali Reza Jahandash. So I just think time might be drawing to a close on their Eredivisie stay.
Makes sense. Sean, you've gone for the just mentioned Willem Dry, along with Zol and Den Haag. I presume it'll be relatively close between the usual bottom feeders and the Eredivisie.
Yeah. I couldn't remember when I was making this the teams that went up. Fully, I know Willem were, but I couldn't remember the other two. But all three promoted teams, just looking at, because the Eredivisie is one of the leagues that has had a game played before we've recorded this. All three promoted teams have lost their opening game. One of Z's teams, just for a little fun fact, Excelsior, won their opening game 4-0, but it wasn't because they were playing Canberra. So, but yeah, I picked the two teams that are sort of in and around the playoff last year, and then one of the other team that I knew went up.
Makes sense. Eloise, you've got Canberra as the one of the promoted teams. Or was it just a promoted team again?
Yeah, it was looking at odds. Promoted team. Not really recognizing anyone in the squad, so it was just very much a guess, I'd say.
Makes sense. So I sort of picked Telstar. I always thought Den Haag were always up and up there more recently than 5 years ago. It's been a very much long time for them. So I didn't pick them, and Telstar were in and around the bottom, sort of near the nearest to relegation place, similar to Excelsior. I don't know. They've always seemed like a team that are just a bit of a sort of a state division team that's just been up there for too long. So I think this was their season to at least get in the relegation playoff. So to our penultimate league, which is the Primeira Liga in Portugal. So winners is normally one of two teams normally. So let's see who we've picked this time. Okay. So I thought we were pick Benfica then, but Sean has gone for Porto and the rest of us have gone for Benfica.
Wow.
So I'll start with you, Sean. Porto won the league last season. I think it was. Yeah. I can't remember how it was reasonably close, right?
I think they're the best team in Porto. Porto are the best team in Portugal, I think. Benfica obviously were third last year under Mourinho. Unbeaten season, yes, but I can't remember who's replaced Mourinho.
Marco Silva.
Marco Silva. I do rate Marco Silva. but I think Porto have got the best squad. I think they will win it again.
Makes sense. Yeah, okay. And Luis, Benfica for you? Was it on back of the unbeaten season?
I mean, you've got the unbeaten season. I know it's who's Benfica manager.
Marco Silva.
Marco Silva.
Oh, sorry.
We just said that.
I know. I blanked. I thought you were talking about another team.
Welcome
Marco
to the
Silva's-
ADHD hour.
I think that might be a title contender. The ADHD hour.
I mean, I've literally got. I might need to turn my Discord into invisible because I've literally got like 1 million notifications right now.
Put it on D&D.
Yeah, that'll actually work. So, yeah, they very much have the best squad, in my opinion. Like, obviously, Porto won last season, but it was basically put into the fact that good manager, good squad, did well last season. In theory, they should do well again this season, and yeah, even though there is typically 3 big teams in Portugal, I only considered either Benfica or Porto. I don't think Sporting's close personally. So yeah, I feel like Benfica has a ridiculous team, and I'll be surprised if they don't win. To be honest,
Sleeping on Sporting a little bit.
a little bit, but
They
even
were
when like Sporting have good players, there's a couple that could easily go to like a much bigger team in Europe and smash it still.
I think Luis, if they hold on to Luis Suarez, he was the Golden Boot winner last year.
Yeah, he's good.
I think he's someone that will. He's so like I feel like they replaced Gyökeres quite well. I do also think like defensively they're quite solid as well. Yeah, Sporting aren't to be slept on at all. Slept on even.
Makes sense. And Z, any final thoughts? And I guess any reason why we haven't mentioned? I say we just thought about Sporting there. Did you consider them at all?
I mean, yeah, I'd say I considered them, but it was like last season I more heavily considered them. This season was sort of more of a let me check what they've done to potentially change things. And according to Wiki, they have done literally 0 transfer business. So, if you weren't good enough the season before, I have to assume you won't be good enough this season when, in my opinion, the other 2 teams, certainly Benfica have improved. And from memory, I think Porto have a lot of as well.
I think Sporting must have done something because they've got the great Jesse Derry on loan from Chelsea. Do you know anything about him, Sean? I've never heard of him.
He is the son of QPR legend Sean Derry, but
Okay.
he's a left winger, young player. He made his professional debut from Chelsea this season. I think we poached him from Palace's academy. He's supposed to be a really good talent for the future, but he's not someone that Chelsea are looking at bringing into the first team right away, which is why we've loaned him out.
Yeah. And it must be reasonable because it's quite a good level to loan him out to, considering it's like it's better than loaning him to Rangers like Mikey Moores seems to be doing.
Yeah. Just have it. Yeah, he's played for them. He came off the bench for them against Estrella Amadora on the weekend. He's only 19 years of age. So he's still got a lot of many years ahead of him.
Yes. Yes. So from my end, the Benfica prediction, basically because it'd be funny to have Jose Mourinho leave and then they immediately win the title. and also because they well, I was gonna say they won the first game. They actually didn't. They drew. But yeah, so mainly because it'd be funny to have them.
Yeah, out of the big three teams, Porto were the only one to win their opening day game.
Yes. Yes, I mean, most of the time it doesn't tell us much, but it is surprising considering the gap that normally is between those three and the rest of the league. That two of them have drawn and conceded 2 goals.
Yeah, Benfica drew with Viseu 2-2. They were, I mean, it was 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, but yeah. And Sporting drew with I think it was so we said Amadora.
Okay, makes sense.
Benfica were at home and drew 2-2. Sporting were away.
So yeah, so maybe it's the crucial points they need to give to make all of our predictions incredibly wrong, apart from yours.
Well, 5 of the games on the opening weekend were draws.
Jesus, no, that is a good parity.
Yeah, only 4 teams won their opening games, and that is Porto, Maritimo, Gil Vicente, and Arouca.
Yes.
So it probably doesn't, like, even Braga didn't win their opening game. Like, it's not necessarily a sign of things to come.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to the relegation spots. So, do you... Oh, you might need another relegation team, Sean. You've only got 2
Oh,
there.
I think because there's only 2 teams that go down from.
There's a
in
playoff as well.
There's a playoff as well.
Oh, is there the playoff as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I didn't think that. I forgot about the playoff, and I've managed. One of my very few FM things I've done this year was in Portugal as well, and I forgot about the playoff. Let's put Rio Ave straight in.
Okay. Sounds good. So moving down to the bottom of the Portuguese league, relegation spots. I think we all have Viseu to go down. I've all got Casapia to go down. Whereas I think we may have all gone different for the third team. So I'll start with you, Eloise. Maritimo, I think, got promoted last season. Is this another promoted team getting relegated?
Yeah, so it's very much in mine. I very much got the 2 teams that got promoted and the playoff winner. So that's simply it. Maritimo, in my very limited knowledge of Portuguese football, very much a team that would be in and around a relegation. So yeah, that is basically it.
Okay. And Z, you've gone for the team that drew with Benfica, I think, didn't they? Or did they draw with Sporting? They drew with one of these teams.
Benfica.
Benfica, I think.
It was.
No, was it Sporting or did they?
It was Sporting.
Sporting. Okay, yes, they drew with the team that drew with Sporting. So did you any particular reason why you've chosen Amador as your place team, not Maritimo?
I mean, as stated, Maritimo, in my opinion, too good to go down. I mean, I realise this was a while ago, but the season Birmingham got into Europe about 15 years ago, we played Maritimo. So like they're one of the better traditionally clubs in Portugal.
Yeah.
I just think Amadora, they finished 15th last season. They literally survived on head to head from going into the playoff. Casapia went there instead, and I just sort of think, by the looks of it, they had AVS having an absolute shocker of a season that kind of helped the 2 of them stay afloat because they had less than a point a game. So I'm going, yeah. If Maritimo are staying up, I need 2 to possibly go down, and they were the 2 that came closest last season.
Okay. Makes sense. And Sean, you've gone for Rio Ave. Any reason at all for Rio Ave?
Yeah, they were 12th last season, but they had the second worst defensive record in the league, joint with Casapia. Like Tondela, who went down, and Amadora, who finished 15th, had better defensive records, only by a goal or two. But I still think that Amadora also outscored Rio Ave. They just picked up a couple more wins than Amadora did, so like they could quite easily be down there. They've also lost their one of the 4 teams to lose their opening weekend game. So starters you mean to go on, I guess.
Makes sense. So our final league we're predicting is the SBL, which I think is a couple of games played now. Since at the time of recording. This is another special league. If you don't predict Celtic, you get 10 points. If you predict Celtic, you get 5 points. Have we all gone for the same team again? We sure have done. So yes, 7-4. Don't have much of it to touch upon. Did Sean any consideration for Rangers at all? Or surprise Hearts? Something?
No, well, Hearts no, because they've lost McInnes and Shankland to Rangers.
Yeah.
And so they were never in my thoughts pre-season anyway. It was going to be most likely Celtic or Rangers, and Rangers have started dreadfully. So yeah, there was no real need to predict anybody other than Celtic.
That's fine. As we've all predicted the same things, Z or Eloise, anything to add other than Celtic good, Rangers starting shit? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. We move on to the relegation spots. I think there's only 2 in this league, so we've all predicted 2. So we've all gone for Kilmarnock to go down. Me and Z have gone for Falkirk. Sean's gone for Dundee, and Eloise's gone for St Johnstone. So Dundee's probably the most surprising ones out of those, I'd say. Sean, or Dundee United, sorry, not Dundee.
Was that meant to be? Let me just check.
I think it's in
I'm just there was method to my madness with Dundee, and no, there wasn't. Well, they were in the bottom half, but I was putting one of them. I think it was more based on how they've started this season. Because Dundee United, they've got 1 point from their opening 2, but yeah, they've also conceded 5 goals in that, and it just from the bits I've seen, they haven't looked the most secure defensively. So I just thought maybe last season was more of a flash in the pan of a better year for them rather than it being and going back down.
Okay.
And also, I think St Johnstone, despite the fact they've only just come up, were probably too good to go down.
Last time we were there, I think so. I think they must. I think that was maybe the time when it was relatively close, or they went down by the playoff. So, yeah. Eloise Singer St Johnston, just because they're a promoted team.
Yeah, I've basically been just hoping I get lucky with the promoted teams going back down. Basically, is my logic, and then Kilmarnock very much. I don't think looked incredible last season. No, they were 10th, so they weren't incredible, and they've also lost their first 2 games.
One of them was a 5-1 battering at home to Celtic, so
but still,
yeah,
it's not incredible. And I was looking at their teams and at their team, and I see a Tyree Strong Jules, which is quite funny. So I don't tip this Kilmarnock team to do anything.
Fair enough. And the Falkirk, same as me. I think I had them down to the odds. Same with you.
I just am not I'm not convinced that they're good enough. I mean, they had a great season last season, and ended up in the top half. Um, but it was an interesting one where they made it into the top half, but they actually lost more games than they won all season. They had a negative goal difference. They were absolutely pumped in the second league phase, from what I can remember.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm banking on it being a difficult second album, you know.
Makes sense. So moving on to our bonus win predictions. So this one we pick any top league in Europe, and we predict a winner. It'll be 10 points to get it correct, minus every time they have won the league in a row. To try and try and move us from some of the more tougher leagues where just one team always wins. Let's see who predicted for this one. See, Milo has gone for exactly the same with TNS, which I'm presuming same as me. This is an easy 5 points because they'll always win.
Yeah, like why risk it for 10 points where you can be very sure on the 5 points is my exact thinking, because it's TNS.
Yes, I'm sure. What's his face in his AI generated videos and all that sort of bollocks and pestering celebrities is gonna be will help them win the league again. So Sean, you've gone for Club Brugge.
Yeah,
Did
they're
did
they're defending Belgian champions, I
Okay.
believe. And yeah, I thought I'd go away. Because I know Anderlecht have dropped off recently. There's not necessarily another team recognizable in out of some of the bigger leagues that I think would be more guaranteed to go on and win it. And I thought I'd go for. I avoided the easy option of going for TNS just purely because I just would find it funny if they lost the league, and just I'm not backing it on that hope more than anything.
it will be. I would be very happy to lose. I'm very happy to lose 5 points if they did win the league, but that just isn't gonna happen.
I wouldn't.
The big TNS Ultra Eloise here.
Of course.
Yes. And Z has gone for Copenhagen from Denmark.
Yes. So they didn't win the league last season. AGF won it, which was a surprise. I feel like Copenhagen have won 15 of the last 26 seasons, and so I feel like I'm taking a, let's call it 50-50 punt on 10 points.
I looked at Copenhagen for the same reason of the punt on 10 points, because of knowing that they didn't win it last season, but I also think Michelin could be up there, and so I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to risk it based on that, and also I don't know how AGF are going to do again this season.
So moving on to our bonus relegation. So we picked 3 teams for this one. We'll start with Sean's because there's 2 Belgian teams in there and a
Yeah.
Danish team. We've touched upon those leagues.
I can't remember if they're in the second tier or not. No, they are still on the top tier. They finished second bottom in the third, La Louvre. They finished second bottom of the relegation tier, and Cercle Bruges came so there's 4. It splits into 3 separate leagues after a certain point. And Cercle Bruges and La Louvière were the teams that just didn't go down. So I was just hedging my bets on one of them 2 going down, and then Horsens, because when I was looking at Denmark, they are very much a yo-yo team, and so I went with them as my other choice.
Okay, makes sense. And Z, you've also gone for Horsens to go down, along with Dunav. Are they Slovakian or something?
Bulgarian.
Bulgarian, and I'm not going to pronounce the last team's name because I will butcher it. And I'll have Ollie very angry at me.
Well, I mean, I'll practice what Ollie taught me when I was managing in Poland. I believe it's Wisista Kraków.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Wisista, they've lost their first 2 games. They were just promoted. I think there are too many teams better than them in the Ekstraklasse at the moment. Horsens similarly at bottom of the Danish Superliga after 3 games, and were just promoted. And then my other ones are Dinafrusa from Bulgaria, and they have lost 4 out of 4 of their games so far, and they were just promoted. So yeah, I was basically looking for seasons that had already started with teams that weren't doing well, who had been just promoted and didn't appear to have like a huge history within their respective leagues.
Makes sense. And then Eloise's Otrant, Swift Esperange from Luxembourg, and Limmervaldia from Northern Ireland.
Yeah, so I thought I'd have a little fun with this one and go for the bottom countries in the UEFA coefficient. And then, unfortunately, San Marino has a league.
Yes.
I didn't want to go Wales because Matt will talk about Wales. So I've gone for Montenegro because Otran Olympic got promoted. So just odds on probably could go back, could get relegated immediately. Luxembourg, Swift, Hesperange start on minus 12 points.
Okay.
So yeah, they're probably not gonna stay up. And then Limmervaldi got promoted as well. So it's basically 2 teams that very much got promoted, and then a team that very much I think they got promoted. No, but yeah, it's literally the only thing in there is because they're on minus 12 right now, and that is quite a big.
They're starting themselves handicapped, basically. They've given themselves a lot more work to do.
For sure.
I think I've seen news about Swift Esperange's points deduction.
Yeah, if this is for financial reasons, how do we score if they go bust?
They were served a 12-point deduction and €20,000 fine following disciplinary rulings regarding unpaid players and staff salaries.
Okay, so
I thought I'd
financial.
seen the. Yeah, I thought I'd seen. I thought I'd seen stuff about it.
I feel like if they go bust, that automatically relegates them if
Yes,
they do
it
stay in
does.
the league. So I feel like I get points.
Okay,
I concur.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'll go through mine. As Eloise's rightly predicted, there are 2 Welsh teams in here. So the Cymru Premier has got 6 new teams this season because of expanded from 12 to 16. So Trevelyan are from South Wales, somewhere in the valleys, I think. And they were, although they won the Cymru South, they are probably the least experienced. Well, none of them are experienced really. They're probably like the least experienced out of those. I think they're a relatively new club in general. And they have lost their first 2 games, and conceded 6 goals, which is always a good start. Hollywell, I think they are the only new team to come up from the north, who haven't been in the league before, and they have conceded 9 goals in their first 2 games. So yeah, I don't think they're going to have a particularly good time. Feasibly, I could have picked any of the teams that were promoted. Maybe not Condon because they actually started really well. But yeah, these sort of going to more of like a Belgian style where it splits into 3 separate mini leagues essentially in the middle of the season. So
2 6s and a 4 like Belgium as well, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, so it's bottom 6, top 6, and then the 4 in the middle.
Okay, so
so
Belgium's is slightly different, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
the same as
the bottom 4 get cut out.
Okay.
Same as the Czech league.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take your word for that one. But yes, I presume the European Challenger spot, the middle 14, the first place of that goes into the Conference League like playoff qualifier thingy that they do at the end of the season. So to give them something to fight for at the very least. So and Kalamata, they're in the Greek league. They were the worst of the promoted teams into that league. And I don't think the promoted teams ever really tend to do particularly well in the Greek league, so I picked them to go down. But plus Kalamata sounds like some food.
It's olive. You've predicted an olive to get relegated because that's the Kalamata olives are a type of olive. So yes, it's just olive.
What colour their kit is?
I hope
If it's not olive green, it's very wrong.
Oh,
It's only boring.
I
It's gonna be
think it's-
blue.
I think it's white and black.
Oh,
Boring.
boo.
oh, it
I
could
mean,
be
they're
black
nice kits.
olives then.
Yeah, it
Black
could be
olives.
black olives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're kind of like a purpley olive. Is a Kalamata olive.
Hmm.
Also, because I decided to search it up, Trefellena from Port Talbot
Okay.
near Swansea. So lovely place.
Yes. Thrilling place. I mean, Holywell isn't exactly the nicest place either. So,
I mean, Port Talbot's nice.
sure.
It's Wales. That's all debatable.
And with that slander, we'll move on to the top scorers. So moving on to our top scorer predictions now. So we're going to go through the leagues we predicted and then do a bonus top scorer. Starting off with La Liga, I'm going to presume this is probably all predicted the same guy. And we sure did in various different forms of names. So Eloise and Sean have got Eloise, Sean, Z, and I have all gone from Mbappe or Mboopy or Mbop.
I feel like because they haven't spelled his name correctly, their guesses should be null and void. That's how this works, right?
No.
I go change mine.
Yes, good Bappy. So as we've all predicted this, I'll throw to you, Sean, for seeing as you only spelled his name right, so from Mbappe. He's good at football, isn't he?
He's a little bit. But yeah, he also is coming off of the back of winning the World Cup Golden Boot. And is the all-time top scorer in World Cups. Now, yeah, he if he has half a chance, he's normally scoring it. I think, regardless of how Real Madrid do this season, he will end up winning it, and I think that's more purely because Atletico Madrid don't score a lot of goals, and Barcelona will share theirs across the squad, whereas Real Madrid will probably be more set up to you feed Mbappe and he scores.
Makes sense. He very much won top scorer last season, so it's a very sensible prediction, I think. Also, the points for this, I think it's 5 points if you get it right, 3 points if you're in the top 5, point if you're in the top 1, or maybe 10 points if they get it right, then 5 in the top 5 and 3 in the top 10. I can't remember. It's one of those. So, moving on to Serie A. Again, I think this might be very similar for everyone. No, it isn't. Z, why have you gone for Kolo Muani to be the top scorer in a league?
Because I think the Italian league is going to suit him. I think it was a horrible match for the Premier League, even if he didn't arguably get a full chance to properly show what he could do. But he also went on loan to Juventus last year, and he scored 8 in 16. So I've gone for Juventus winning the league this season. I'm going to back their striker, especially when to date he has a goal every 2 games in him for that team.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm fairly certain the reason Spurs signed him was because of the fact he got a goal every other game for Juve. I think that was part of the reason why they picked him up on loan last season. So I don't think it's as bad a shout as the definitely by a Spurs fan is making it out to be.
He's awful, awful footballer, and he will absolutely flop this season and show how bad of a footballer he is. He peaked at that World Cup final, and he's been awful ever since. There you go.
Speaking of the biased Spurs fan, Eloise Lautaro Martinez, he also won it last year. Same again.
Yeah, that is my theory. I feel like that'll be where a majority of Inter's goals come from. So it was just a very safe bet from me.
Fair enough. So moving on to the Bundesliga, I also think this will be very similar for everyone. I wonder who we're all gonna pick. Oh, what a surprise! I've all gone for Kane. I said Harold, but there's Kane.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well cover this. He win the Bundesliga top scorer by like 10 goals last season. He scored absolutely tons.
He scored
30 something.
72 in all comps, I think, by the
Yeah.
end of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Golden shoe.
Yep. Yeah. There's no reason to suggest it's not going to happen again. I don't think Bayern are going to replace him until he drops dead.
He's the best striker in world football. So what do you expect?
Yes. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Unless anyone else has anything to add on Harry Kane.
I love Kane.
Yes. Apart from he's good at
We know
football.
you do.
I think he's definitely in a league and a system which is set up to suit the way he wants to play. And I think that was proven by the fact that Bayern got 122 goals last season and he scored the vast majority of them.
Definitely. So moving on to League One, this might be slightly more varied. And it sure is. Me and Eloise are going for Ousmane Dembele. Sean's gone for Kvaratskhelia, and Z's gone for Florian Balogun. So I'll start with you, Zorn. Kvaratskhelia, obviously PSG boy.
I was very, very tempted to go with Flo Balogun. But there are quite a few rumours going around at the moment he is leaving Monaco this summer. Which is the only reason why I didn't go for him, because I think he will leave. Spurs, funnily enough, are one of the teams that are linked with him. There's also links with Saudi and some other areas as well. Nothing's concrete as of yet that he's leaving Monaco, but I didn't want to risk going for him. I think Kvaratskhelia is the forward player from PSG that's going to end up playing the most this season in the league, because we all know they'll rest half their squad, half their first team for most of the league games around Champions League and stuff like that. So I think Kvaratskhelia, just based on my personal opinion on who Luis Enrique will play the most. Dembele's had his injury issues and stuff last season, only played 12 league games, which is why I didn't go for him.
Makes sense. Florian Balogun, it's a guy who's not playing for PSG.
Yeah, I think I tried to avoid PSG because they're such a all-out attack team that if you actually look at it, the goals are very much shared amongst a lot of their players. For me, I wanted to go for a player that I feel is more likely to be one of those instances where it's like, if they score, it's a good chance it's him. Like since moving to Ligue 1, he's got 45 goals in about 100 games, I think. So like he's averaging a goal every 2.5. Yes, he is possibly moving, so I am taking a risk, but I also know that Spurs are the team that he's been most connected with, and that just didn't make sense to me because Spurs at the moment are crap, and he came through the Arsenal youth system, so I'm like, I don't understand why he'd go there. So I'm taking a risk. He might move, but I think if he doesn't, he will score a good chunk of Monaco's goals.
Makes
I
sense.
think his main likely destination is Saudi more than Spurs. I'll have a look at his transfer rumors,
That'd
but
be
yeah, I
fast.
think it's one of those like ones I just didn't want to risk it because I know you fell foul of that last year, Z, where you picked a player that was going to top Liga and goal scoring charts, and he ended up being transferred to Nottingham Forest after the podcast went out.
Yeah, Callum, no.
And Eloise, he also picked them fairly younger than me. He didn't play that much last year, so any concerns about that this year, do you think?
I mean, I found this one really hard to do because my instinct was to go Balogun, but then I saw that he was linked to a couple teams, and I feel like there's a chance he could go to Spurs, but that's literally because there's zero loyalty in football. If there's enough money, someone will go anywhere, and he's got to be really promised a lot in De Zerbi's project to move to Spurs. But so my thinking here is it feels really hard to predict who the top goal scorer will be for Ligue 1 because a lot of the times it's a team that's like mid-table, and it's just a random journeyman striker that can score like 20 goals, and that's enough. Because it was the pool.
Yeah, it was the last season.
Liverpool last season. So I felt like that's impossible to predict. And as he said, PSG's goals are so spread out. So I was hoping to go for the top 10 or maybe top 5 if I'm lucky. And I feel like a Dembele will get me at least 2 points. Fingers crossed. If he plays enough and if he's fit enough, that is a couple points. He won't be a top goal scorer, but the way this is set up, he could net me a couple points.
The other name I potentially looked at for this was Julio Enciso from Strasbourg, but he's now just gone to Ipswich.
Yeah.
So he's joined Gary O'Neill to Ipswich. So that was the other name I had looked at. But yeah, again another one that's now gone.
Okay, makes sense. Moving on to the Eredivisie. I can't remember who I've put for this, to be honest. Okay, so I've gone for Ueda from Feyenoord. Eloise and Sean have gone for Pepe, who I think is he a PSV player? And Z's gone for Seyhus. Yeah, who is he also PSV?
No, MSV.
Okay. So I'll start with you, Z. Any reason why you've gone for someone who you haven't picked to win the league?
Yeah, I think that he's like a good striker that you can kind of bank on to put 10 in. I was less confident with who I thought might get a move because, I feel like Ricardo Pepi is the sort of person that if suddenly somebody goes, oh, we're going to try and bring him to the Prem, like it wouldn't surprise me. Whereas I think there's no way that Kaiser House gets moved from Nijmegen to anywhere else. He scored 12 in 30 last season. He had an injury the season before that, but before that he scored 12 in 31. I'm just kind of going. I also noticed he scored on the first day of the season. I'm like, if he can get me a dozen goals again, it's going to get me some points. And also, he was at Heracles when I did my FM save with them, and he scored a lot of goals, so I have a soft spot for him.
Makes sense. And Eloise, Ricardo Pepi.
PSV's most likely goal threat. PSV are annoyingly like a PSG, where they have multiple goal threats. Because if you look at the top goal scorers last season, 4th, 5th, and 6th for all PSV players. Yeah, I feel like there is a risk with Pepe because he's such a good player that a European team could go for him. But I then struggled to think of any other option. I maybe could have gone for Troy Parrott, but
I'm
that is
surprised you
also
didn't.
that is also bigger biases if I did, and I'm already biased enough. I mean,
He had the same amount of goals as Pepe last season.
exactly. I just think Pierce would do better. The other one I was questioning was your pick, Mal. I almost went Ueda.
Yeah, so
But
I went
he
for
won it
Ueda
last
just
year, didn't he?
because I had
Mhm.
Feyenoord winning the league and he did finish top scorer last season by quite a bit. So
Yep.
logically, he would be the most goal threat. I think there's a risk of him moving as well because he has had a good season and he's been. Was he in Japan squad at the World Cup? And I think he.
Yeah,
I don't know.
he was,
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he started most of the games.
Yeah, so there's a reasonable chance that someone will pick him up, but as he's not done so far, I think he might be safe.
Leeds are sniffing around him, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I very much might be doing a Z then. This season.
Fenerbahce.
The bloody Turkish league, man. Getting everyone.
Yeah, so many players going to Turkey. It's ridiculous.
Turkey's become the
Feyenoord,
new Saudi.
yeah,
yeah.
Feyenoord have valued him at around 15 million as
Yeah,
well,
No,
which
okay, that's very cheap.
doesn't feel like it's gonna be too much to prize somebody like for somebody to go, do you know what, if we're gonna take a risk on somebody, a player who's 27, so he's entering his prime now, he's on one every 2.5 for Feyenoord, 40 and 109 competitive appearances.
you take that.
That's not bad for 15 million in this market.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, might be in the wood a bit there. Moving on to the Primera Liga top scorer. So we all split down the middle. Eloise and Z have gone for Pavlidis, and me and Sean have gone for Agehoa. I probably butchered that name.
Agiola, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll go to Z for Pavlidis.
Yeah, I mean, he was high up there last season. I have a feeling I may have even chosen him last season. He scored 42 and 68 for Benfica. Like he feels like the sort of player who is incredible in like those second tier kind of countries. You know, his last season in the Eredivisie for Alkmaar, he scored 29 in 34. Like
Hmm.
he's just one of those players that maybe isn't gonna win you a Champions League, but is very, very good in a sort of Netherlands, Portugal. I'd be interested to see him in France. Like, um, plus he has so far started the season in all competitions with 6 goals in 4 games. So he scored on match day 1 in the Primera Liga, and he's scored 5 goals in 3 in the Europa League. So feels like he's on a good run.
Makes sense. And Sean, Agehoa.
Yeah, he's Porto's main guy that they signed from Atletico. I know Chelsea were linked with him at one point. There is slight FM bias on this one from me. I have used him across multiple different FM saves, and he has always bagged for me. So I know he wasn't the most prolific last season, but then Porto were outscored by Sporting by like 20 goals last season. So it's a little bit of a gamble on that one, but yeah, there was a little bit of bias in that one.
Eloise.
One little fun fact, because I don't need to talk about Pavlidis because he's talked about Pavlidis very well. Last year in our predictions, it was very much 3 of us picked Pavlidis, and Grimmy picked Agahoa.
Okay, so it's same again.
So yeah, it's the exact same 2 players have got unanimous picks 2 years in a row now. So
As I said earlier, when we was talking about the Luis Suarez from Sporting was very much
Yeah.
very much on my radar as well.
Yeah. I think I didn't pick him because I was a bit worried how Sporting would do. But if you can get 25 goals on a second place team, you can very easily
You got 28 last season.
for sure. Moving on to the Scottish Premiership. Another 50-50 split here. We've got Sean and Z going for Hoch from Celtic. That's probably not how you say that. I know there's like a little. I know there's like the Danish cross though in there. And me and Eloise gone for Nguyen from Celtic as well. So the two Celtic players, I believe both of these have scored multiple goals already this season. So I'll throw to you, Eloise, to go through Nguyen.
Yeah, so I picked Benjamin Nigren last season. I think he came second.
Yeah, he did.
I think we very much had another situation where top goal scorer was for St Mirren, I think, and then like the bigger clubs kind of like there was multiple players that scored goals, so they counteracted each other.
Sold.
So yeah, he's just a solid goal scorer for Celtic who will score a lot of goals. So that is very much why I'm going for him again.
And I'll throw to Sean for Casper Hoch.
I mean, I picked him purely because he's their new main striker, I believe, after they've sold Maeda. And he got a hat-trick on the opening day. So,
Yep.
yeah, I think he's probably going to be their main source of goals more than Nguyen. I was tempted by him because he was second in the thing last year, but yeah, I think he's going to be more their go-to guy for goals this year.
Yep. I think both of these are very good shouts, for sure. So moving on to our bonus scorer. This can be from any top European league again. So let's see what random obscure guys we picked this time. So I'll start with Z's pick of Ascende.
Yeah, Samuel Ascende came through the PSG youth system. He's 28 now. He's playing for young boys in the Swiss league. It feels like he's made a decent start this season. He scored 4 in the first 2 games. He doesn't seem to be like proper prolific, really. He's more of a sort of 1 in 4 kind of player, but his record has been a bit better since he moved to Switzerland. So maybe he's found his level. And so I'm gonna take a punt on him because he does at least seem like their main striker.
Makes sense. Sean have gone for Tresoldi.
Yeah. He's at Club Brugge. He's their main guy. He was left out of Germany's World Cup squad. By Nagelsmann. But he was he's an interesting one. He was born in Italy, could also play for Italy or Argentina because that's where his parents are from. But has also he's been in Germany and came through Hanover's system.
Okay.
So and has qualified but is I think a German international. He's a German under-21 international. He hasn't actually made a senior international appearance, but he scored 19 goals last season for Brugge in his first season there, and he's already scored on the opening day. So yeah, he's on 41 in 20 in the league for Brugge. So I think he was a decent shout for a team that I think is gonna win the league.
Makes sense. Eloise, Michael Fasco.
Yes, so I didn't know what to do with this because there's so many different leagues, and I was like, I don't really care about someone in particular. So I just got a website which gave me a random country in Europe. I was given Slovakia, so I very much looked at what the top goal scorer was last season. It was Mikhail Fashko. So I just went with him. He plays for Zelina, who were like 4th last season, and they will probably be around that this season. He scored 14 goals, which is quite low for a top goal scorer. But yes, he indeed did get top goal scorer last season. So I feel like he's the kind of striker that scores like in half the games he plays in. So I feel like that should be fine for me.
So I've gone for Jasper Payne, who unsurprisingly plays in the Comedy Premier, as all my predictions end up being. Plays for Cardiff Met, and
Oh.
pretty much the only reason I've gone for him so far is that he scored 4 goals in his first 2 games. I believe there was a
The
hat
Cardiff
trick.
Met.
Yeah. Yes. So he's potentially a random student who's good at football. Well, he scored 4 goals in his first 2 games. I think one of them was a hat trick. I believe only about 10 or 12 goals gets you in the top 10 in the Welsh Premier League. Maybe a bit more this season. So he's on for a good start anyway. So I think he'll get some points at least from this. Yes.
And he looks like he's going to cause defenders pain this season.
Boo.
Yes.
Boo.
And with that, we'll move on to the miscellaneous section of Doom and Despair. So, miscellaneous section, very much of Doom and Despair this time. Bit less numbers than usual. So the first 2, the highest and lowest goals per game for the champion of the league. 5 points if you get these leagues right. So starting off the highest, we've all gone for the Bundesliga. I'm presuming Bayern will score loads of goals, Harry Kane will score loads of goals. That is basically everyone's criteria for this.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Going on to the lowest goals per game by a champion. We've all gone for Serie A, which I think we did last time, and it's just because it's Serie A. Everyone loves to defend in Serie A. I'm presuming that's about right for everyone.
I mean, I'll just say I think I picked every single correct answer last year. So I just basically was boring because this was throwing my brain. So I was like, okay, I'll just go with whatever won last year, and yeah, there we go. That's my answers.
Fair enough. And then onto the highest points per game by champion, so which champion will be the most dominant. Bit of a mixture this time. So Eloise and Z have gone for the Bundesliga, Sean's gone for the SPL, and I've gone for the Ligue 1. I am sort of predicting PSG will just be one of the more dominant seasons, and they'll probably nearly go unbeaten. So, from my perspective, Sean, SPL, Celtic will just win everything.
Yeah, basically. I've looked at the table and I genuinely don't know where there's a game where I see Celtic dropping points.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And Z for the Bundesliga.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think we've spread out over the 3 options that could be reasonably thought of.
Yeah.
It's just for me, you mentioned it yourself, PSG tend to rotate in the league when they've got big European fixtures, and that sometimes trips them up. Like, they often have a slow start when there's more European games, and then get good in the second half of the season. I mean, the SPL, I mean, Celtic just nearly lost a league title to Hearts. I think it's very possible that they dominate this season, but equally, I'm like, I don't feel I can bank on it based on what we saw last season. So I'm going for another Harry Kane inspired Bundesliga win for Bayern.
Makes sense. Moving on to the lowest points per game, so this will be the most competitive league, essentially. I think. Me and Sean are going for the Eredivisie, Eloise is going for La Liga, and Z is going for Serie A. So Eloise, not going to be as dominant this time by the relevant team.
I think I panicked. I just put a random one. I think because I very much in my head couldn't figure out what this meant.
No.
But as you explained it, yeah, I think La Liga is an okay guess because it very much could be close with Real and Barca, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure about this one.
Yeah, that was Z, Serie A again.
Yeah. I just feel like obviously it happens, but I think it's rarer that a team absolutely runs away with it. Inter have done it a couple of times recently, but as discussed earlier, I think they're weakened overall this season. So I'm sort of going, well, if you weaken Inter and all the other teams stay about the same, you've got Inter, Juve, both the Milans, you've got maybe Roma, maybe
Napoli.
thank you. Uh, maybe Atalanta, like, and so I'm kind of going, well, if that's what happens, then they're probably all going to take some points off each other.
Yeah.
I think I was torn between that and the Eredivisie. So I will also say Sean misspelt it. So by his own rules, he doesn't get any points.
Yes.
Yes. So speaking of Sean, you've gone for the Eredivisie.
I am changing it now as we speak.
Eredivisie.
Yes, you've gone for the Eredivisie.
But yeah,
Oh.
I was, as C said, very torn between the two. I just went for the Eredivisie because I think,
Thank you.
yeah, it was between the two, and I just don't know if PSV are going to be as dominant this year.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's my thinking. It's quite dominant last season, but I think I'll revert back to the mean this season. So moving on to effectively the dirty bastards of the leagues, the most red cards per game to make it more evenly between all the leagues that have different teams. So the high red cards. So I've gone for the SPL. Eloise and Sean have gone for Serie A, and Z's gone for La Liga. I'll start with Z again. Any pick a strategy for this?
Just the fact that whenever I watch Spanish football, it feels like there's a red card every game. Just the referees over there will give you a yellow for fucking anything, seemingly. And if they're going to give you a yellow for things, it stands to reason that they might give some people 2 yellows for things. So I'm basically I'm basing it on the eye test. You know, like when I watch football from different leagues, where are the refs most card happy?
Makes sense. Eloise, Serie A?
Complete guess. It's just because it's Syria, and normally it's a little bit more dirty. It's more defensive. I did do this before the I did annoying maths that I will shout at you for. And La Liga has the most yellow cards in any of the leagues by far. A ridiculous amount
yeah.
of yellows.
Hmm.
So Z's quite spot on here. But we'll see if per game helps. But not, yeah. So hopefully Serie A's not too bad of a guess.
That makes sense. And I've gone for the SPL because it's Scottish. Moving on to the most the nicest leagues, the cleanest leagues, I guess. So I've gone for League 1, Eloise gone for the Scottish Prem, and Sean's gone Bundesliga, and Z's gone for the Eredivisie. So we're quite widespread this time. I thought to you, Sean, for the Bundesliga. Any particular reason?
It's similar reason to Z's reason for going for the highest red cards in La Liga. Anytime I seem to watch the Bundesliga, there never seems to be a card given. So that's why I went with it. I know there are cards given out, but they never seem to be in games I watch. So maybe I'll just watch every game of the Bundesliga and there won't be a single card. And then I win.
Makes sense. Z, Eredivisie.
Yeah, I feel like the Netherlands are the Canada of Europe, but they just sort of always seem a bit more gentle and polite. And I just sort of think, if someone makes a bad tackle, they'll probably say sorry immediately, and the ref won't want to book them because he'd feel mean.
Fair enough. And Eloise, the Scottish Prem? Complete guess?
Because I didn't know that this was going to be on average, and I thought it was just total red cards.
Fair enough.
So,
Yes, that makes
and I
sense.
didn't change it. So here we are.
Yes. League in for me, just a complete guess. No strategy at all. Speaking of complete guesses, it's time for our numbers question. It's the number
Yay.
round.
Yay!
How many yellow cards are there gonna be in the leagues we have predicted?
So we don't let Eloise talk in this question, so she can't rant about the fact that she had to add all the yellow cards up, right? We just show the numbers and just go over it, yeah? Right, perfect.
Sure. I mean, I don't know what's
Right, on to the next one.
Wait. Can I get something clear here? Can I just? Did no one else add them all up? Did everyone guess?
I didn't guess. I did something, but it wasn't what you did.
So,
Anyone else?
I
No.
picked one of the leagues and the time and thought that's about average for these leagues, and then times it by like 8 or 7, and then subtracted a bit because they're smaller leagues.
And Sean guessed.
And I just put a random number in.
I
No.
painstakingly added up because nowhere had a total yellow card number.
Nowhere
So
ever does.
I painstakingly added up every single league in this, how many yellow cards each team got, and then added it together, and then added like a little bit more. If you want to know the exact number of last season's yellow cards in all these leagues was roughly, I might have missed a team, but 8,340. So I made it a meme number just to say fuck you. So I am very angry at this question, and it wasted like 20-30 minutes of my time. So thanks, Mel.
No, that was the intention.
Well, specifically waste my time because I'm the only one who's going to do this.
I'm gonna insist
Whereas no one else would
yeah.
waste their time, just me.
Yeah, because everybody else is sensible, Eloise.
Yeah. Apparently.
I was kind of hoping it was more of your guys' time, but yes, this is indeed. I don't know. It'd be a random number between 8,000 and 9,000, I'd guess. And probably someone will be close. For this one, if you get it exact, you get like 10 points. If you get it with 3%, you get like 10 points. And the closest then is 5, and then the next closest is 3. Otherwise,
If I get it exact and it's 8,367, I win the episode.
No.
Okay.
you get 10 points.
I win the episode.
Which may win you the episode.
No, I win the episode.
No. This is not as crazy as some of the others that have come out before that have been given the special permission to win the episode. This is just you deciding to waste your own time.
Yeah.
I want to win.
Yeah, we all do.
Speaking of winning, the European competitions, who's going to win the Champions League? Okay, I'm the only one who's gone different here. I've gone for Bayern. The rest of you guys gone for PSG. My entire reason for picking Bayern over PSG is I don't think they can win it. I'm skeptical about the 3-0 thing. I mean, it's happened before, but it's a lot of consistency. And Bayern are probably the next logical opponent, aren't they?
It's a lot easier to win this version of the Champions League than it was the old one.
It is. That is true.
Just with the way it works. I also was tempted to put Bayern, but I think if, like last season, Bayern play PSG, PSG will beat them just.
Makes sense. Any other comments from you two on PSG?
I just I said last season that I think we're possibly entering a bit of a PSG dynasty era. And I think even if they don't win it, they'll be there or thereabouts.
See.
One might say it's a hegemony.
All right, don't mock it.
Moving on to
Hegemony.
the Europa League. Okay, we've also all gone very much mostly the same. Me, Eloise, and Sean gone for AC Milan, and Z gone for Benfica. So Portuguese team to win it, Z. Potentially a bit of an out there pick.
I just feel like we've had a few interesting results in European competitions over the last few years.
Like Spurs
I-
winning it.
Indeed. I am a big fan of Marco Silva. I think he's an excellent manager, and I think part of the issue was we don't necessarily know which clubs are going to win their playoffs. We don't know which clubs are going to come down from the Champions League. So I wanted to make sure I picked a team that was already there with a manager I back who I think have the squad to challenge. And I didn't go for AC Milan because Ruben Amorim.
Fair
The
enough.
back three in Italy, it works.
Yes, but
Yeah.
we're not predicting Italy. We're
I know,
predicting
but
the Europa League.
I know, but yeah, I think I also forgot that Ruben Amorim was at AC Milan.
So did I. But that means it'd be even more funny if they win it, because it means that, there ain't a manager left and then won something, which is a surprisingly common occurrence.
Yeah.
Anything to add to you two from AC Milan's perspective?
They've got the LeBron James of soccer.
They sure do. I still remember some of the pre-World Cup things with the Americans saying he's in like the top 10 players in the world, or top 10 players to watch at the World Cup or something like that.
He's not
Yeah.
even the top 10. He's not even in the top 10 players in this position, let alone in the world.
I was going to say the top 10 players in the American squad.
I'm not going that far, Z.
Indeed. So moving on to the Conference League, as he says, probably another one a bit more difficult to predict because we're not sure who's going down into it. Okay, it's a bit more varied this time. Me and Sean have gone for Brighton, Eloise has gone for Monaco, and Z has gone for Atalanta. So Monaco, Eloise.
So I must have put that and then forgot I put that and I thought I put something else. I'm confused even myself why I put Monaco, but sure, Monaco are gonna win it. Fuck it. I thought I put Brighton down, but sure. I probably put Monaco down stupidly. They are a football team.
Yes. They are at least in this competition, which is good.
They are. It's not. I mean, I was looking at the Wikipedia, so that's where I got Monaco from.
And the Atalanta, who I think they are in this competition as well.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest. I kind of dissociated and thought that Michael was on this episode, and there is a mild ongoing bit that I have with him, which is that every season I say that I think Atalanta will have their breakout season, to the point I've even predicted them to win Serie A before. And they never do, despite being a genuinely very good team. So I was continuing the bit, and they're going to win the Conference League.
Okay. I mean, they are at least in it, which is a good start. And Sean, Brighton, not another English team to win the competition.
I was gonna say the 3 of the 5 finals have been won by English sides. There's normally just a golfing class between the squads that can be put out from English sides in the Conference League compared to clubs from other big European nations. The only team I was tempted to go for instead was Atalanta, But and they did recently win the Europa League as well, when they ended Leverkusen's fairy tale hope of an unbeaten treble. But yeah, I just thought the English side squad depth would play a factor again.
Makes sense.
I think the only side, I think out of the last 4 years, the only English side that didn't make the final was Spurs, and that's because they got knocked out early. I'm
But-
just loving throwing the hooks out.
the death test told 1,000 words. So for each of these European competition winners, I believe it's 5 points if you get it right, 3 points if they're in the final, and 1 point if they're in the semi-finals, or something to that effect. You get points if they get to the final and semi-finals as well. So moving on to everyone's favourite part of Bad Sidekicks, referee guesser.
Let's
Yay.
go.
So first one, we're picking a person who referee any of the 3 European finals we've just predicted. So it could be refereeing Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League. So at least we have three potential ways to get it right this time. So who have we gone for? So we got two of us have gone for Clement Turpin. That's me and Sean. Eloise has gone for Shizmon Marciniak, and Z has gone for João Pinheiro. Did anyone have any strategies other than looking up a referee? That is.
Yeah.
I knew of Turpan from the World Cup. I think he was one of FIFA's lists to use in the latter part, should France have somehow not made it.
Sorry,
Uh,
Mason.
Yeah. On my end, I feel like FIFA/UEFA have been trying to like mold Pinheiro into like their guy. He has refed the Super Cup final last season. He refed the semi-final between Bayern and PSG. He refed one of the semi-finals at the World Cup. And it sort of just feels like he's on the edge because, like, I looked through the World Cup referees, and I think there was basically no one because the Slovenian fella who ref the final retired afterwards.
Okay.
And beyond that, there were a lot of refs that they trusted in the latter stages that were not European at all, even the obscure countries. So it feels like he's the one they trust the most.
Okay. Makes sense.
Maybe he's the one with all the dirt on them.
Possibly.
Possibly. Eloise, any reason for your prediction other than it being a referee?
Well, talking about I didn't look properly, but now looking at the Wikipedia page of my referee, there is a controversies section.
God, what's he done?
And apparently he has links to a right-wing libertarian politician in Poland, as well as being anti-Semitic and anti-LGBT. So he's a lovely person.
He sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, it's a great Polish guy. No, he's won multiple years in a row a best referee for whatever referee award thing. He's also refereed like World Cup finals and stuff, and Champions League finals. The problem is he's not done much since those controversies. So I'm glad I did great research in referee psychics. I did great. I pick him well.
You sure do. You sure do. Right, now we've gone through all of our normal questions, it's time for the bonus prediction. I will reveal them all now. Okay. So I will start with these. At least one promoted team stay up in each league. I'm assuming you mean the leagues we predict.
Yes. So the big five: Scotland, Portugal, Netherlands. I'm saying, and I did it with my actual picks as well. So I'm fully in. I'm all committed that there won't be a single one of these leagues where all the teams that are going to go straight back down.
Okay. So the only concern I might have about this being not particularly, I don't know. Means I think my only worry was thinking about this was St Johnston coming up from the Championship in Scotland because they're the only team, and there's 2 chances for them to go down, isn't there? But at the same time, I think we all have predicted at least one promoted team to stay up in most of the leagues. So I think
I think this is
feasible.
quite likely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is. Would you say it's more likely than not?
I'd say it's probably on the 50-50 edge.
Okay. Would you agree with that, Eloise?
Maybe slightly higher than 50-50, but apart from that, no. So my pitch would be 2.5 times 2.5.
Okay. I am kind of happy with that because I always think there's a vague chance that there is just a league where the promoted teams have absolute shitters and
Yeah.
just fail dramatically.
I do, but I do think there's a good chance that one of each team stay up. But yeah, so that's why I think it's 50-50.
There's a couple leagues where it's very much a bit dodgy, and especially Scotland. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I would happy to go for 2.5. Do you want to wait to see towards a lower offer, maybe?
Lower offer, yeah, because 25 points is a lot.
Okay. So, do we want to do it so it's what's 2.5 times 5? That would be
12.5.
12 and 12 points say for down and maybe 20 points for up.
Maybe do 13. Round it. If you're doing 2.5 and you're then dropping the lower offer down, if you're trying to entice them towards the lower offer, you should make the points more than the multiplier that you're doing. So I'd say 13 or
14.5.
And then what?
2010.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think that's probably being a little bit too harsh on the higher end if he wants to go for it, but then if you're wanting to skew him towards the lower offer, I'd probably say 21, maybe 22, 10, but just to make it a little bit more fair. So then if he does want to risk it, there's still a little bit of reward in there for him.
Yeah. Okay. I'd be happy to go with 21 and then let's say 14 for 5 and 21 10. That's the offers. Which one would you choose, Z?
We'll go. Fuck it, I'm going high.
Okay.
Okay.
So 21. So 10. Just note that down. Z is not being a coward, which is always nice to see. So let's move on to Sean's prediction. Como will reach the UCL knockout stages. Fairly simple.
Yes, so that is basically they would have to qualify within the top 24 of the Champions League. So if they reach the round of 32, then I get it. If they don't reach the round of 32, then I don't.
Yeah. I think this is quite likely just because there's so many spaces in the league phase. 24 out of 36 is effectively three quarters essentially. And I think there were a couple of teams the Napoli missed out last year, for example, from who would have been in a similar position to Como. Some decent sized teams missed out. So
they also got promoted last season and then qualified for the Champions League instantly. So it's not necessarily a guaranteed thing, I don't think.
True. Yeah. I still think it's more likely than not. Just because there's so many teams that go up.
So if we go off teams last year that didn't do it, notable teams that didn't qualify, Marseille, PSV, Bilbao, Napoli, Ajax, Frankfurt, Villarreal, Slavia Prague.
Yeah.
They're all notable teams that probably have a better team than Como might. I mean,
Yeah.
Como do have a good team and they will chuck money at it, but and then obviously teams that did qualify, like a Bodo Glimt, like a Karabag, like a Olympiakos. So it can happen.
Yeah.
Is it as likely as these?
I would say is it more than 50-50?
That's the problem. Is I don't know. I think 50-50 might be a bit harsh, but then I think Aziz is rarer.
Yeah. Any thoughts, C?
For me, I'd say I feel like this is more likely to happen than not. Like,
Hmm.
just because I think, at the very least, I think Como will batter the other top 4 teams,
Yeah.
get themselves 6 points, and then they just probably need to find a win from somewhere. And they
Yeah.
demonstrated last season that they're capable of getting the odd big win. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
you
for me,
need.
I'd say it's like 60% likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need at least 2 wins or 3 if you're hopeful, and then a bunch of draws to
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah, I think you need around about 10 points to qualify for
Yeah.
the knockouts.
9 points with okay goal difference. Got Bodo Glimt and Benfica through last year, so and 10 points is completely enough. I'm okay with 50-50, so I'm okay with
Yeah.
doubling it.
I think I'm okay with 50-50 as well. Might be on the generous side, but I think I'm happy with that. Again, do we want to skew Sean at all?
No.
No. Okay.
What numbers did he put? 3 and 9.
So
I'd definitely be inclined to try and skew him lower, to be honest.
Okay.
But
That's
Okay.
okay.
We'll do that then.
So
like, I'd say like 3 and 8, and then 9 and 15.
Sure.
okay. So 8 and 3 and 15 and 9, Sean. What's your
So
pick?
8 and 15, 3 and 9.
Yeah.
We'll go high.
Okay. So I'll put that down as in the sheet. And then we'll move on to mine, which is a Turkish team reaches a European final. So pretty simple. They will reach any of the European finals, so Conference League, Europa League, Champions League, I guess, if they wanted to. I think this is like the Turkish teams have been buying up a lot of players.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's just them overspending and gonna get nothing out of it could be a possibility, but at the same time, there is a good chance of them, if they fall into the Conference League, which I don't know, might be not that likely. They could theoretically go quite far in that, just because there's normally a few teams that can dump out.
I'm looking at it right now. For the Turkish teams in Europe, Fenerbahce have got Lyon in the Champions League playoff round.
Okay.
Besiktas are in the 3rd qualifying round of the Europa League. Their 2nd leg is tomorrow as we record it, and a 1-0 up from the 1st leg against Hradec Králové from the Czech Republic.
Okay.
So they should be in the qualifying round. Trabzonspor in the playoff round. They've just obviously signed Mo Salah, but haven't. The playoff matches for the Europa League are next week. Like first legs are next week, and then in the Conference League, Istanbul, Başakşehir have been knocked out already.
Okay. So
and obviously you've got Galatasaray
in the league phase of the Champions League as well.
automatically.
Yeah. So it's probably more likely they go for Europa League rather than the Conference League, just because I doubt they'd get knocked out in the playoff round. Any of those, for example. So
I think Fenerbahce will probably end up in the Europa League. Do I think any of them will get to the final? No, is my suggestion.
Okay.
I think this is less likely than mine, but I also like personally I thought you were a bit stingy on mine, so I'm trying to
Okay.
work out how to score it in the scale. Like
What did we did 2.5 for yours, didn't we, as a baseline?
yeah,
Declan?
I'd
Would
sort
you
of
say
I'd go to based on how the other two have been, and it sort of feels like a slightly stingier episode for the bonuses. I'm kind of probably on a tripling place.
that's where I was thinking?
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Because I don't think it's as unlikely as you're all saying, because you've got a Besiktas still in it. Did you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
They're 1-0 up from their first leg in the third qualifying round.
I feel like Besiktas might fall down to the Conference League. Same with Trabzonspor, and one of them might still go into Europa League, but one of them I reckon will fall into the Conference League. And I feel like especially Trabzonspor, has a good chance. So I feel like
I don't
a good chance for a Turkish team. So I feel
don't
like tripling
think-
is fine.
I don't think any team in that Conference League would get past either of Atalanta or Brighton.
It depends. Depends on the run. I think there's a chance, but tripling seems pretty fair to me.
All right. And do we want to skew in either direction?
We skew high just to annoy Alaris, right?
I'd be
Is
okay
that-
with not skewing anyway.
What, and just going 3 times on both?
Yeah.
Is he?
Actually, no. I want to skew low.
Well, my
I-
inclination was for on Mal was to skew high. So if you want to skew low and I wanted to skew high,
And
so
then
we
we'll
just
just
keep
triple.
it the same.
Yeah, we'll just go triple then at 24-8 and 15-5.
Okay, cool. There you go. Now what you doing?
I'm not a coward again, so I will go 24-8 for the high offer. So we'll look for 3 high offers this time. Will Eloise complete the 4 with her bonus prediction? A player in the top 5 of the European Golden Shoe will be outside of the Big 5 leagues.
I see
So
what you're doing.
yes, so this happened last season, didn't it? Or was it the season before?
It was so the last 2 we've had was not last season, season before Mika Beref, and then obviously this is inspired by Gyökeres.
Yes.
So, but it's not that likely. I'm pretty sure last season it didn't happen.
It did happen.
No one was anywhere near.
There was Beljo, who was 4th.
Oh, Beljo, yeah. So, but
Yeah,
it's quite hard still.
Yeah, but Beljo's score was 31 goals to get into the top 5, and that's with a relatively low barrier of entry. Like the 5th most goals was 23, which isn't a lot, I would say. So, and yeah, but it's happened before. Happened last season. Happened the season before. I presume it's happened a few times. There's always a chance some Croatian league, Cypriot league gets 1.5 points. And there's obviously the Portuguese league does, which is where Mikabeyev got his top 5 from. So I think this is more likely than. Is it more likely than mine? I think it is. Is it more likely than Z's or Sean's? What's your 2 thoughts on this?
I have no idea because I don't know how the European Golden Shoe works.
In the top 5 leagues, I'm pretty sure it is. It's double points per goal. So if you score a goal, you get 2 points. Then the next threshold, it's you score a goal, you get 1.5 points, and then
Okay.
lower it's just a goal a point.
Yeah.
When you've got proper like low European leagues, so it benefits. Like Harry Kane had 36 goals in the league and got 72 points, for example.
Yeah,
Um,
which would mean that somebody in like Portugal or the Netherlands, which are the kind of leagues that Eloise is banking on, would need to score 49 goals in a season.
Yeah.
But
Or like
get
at
a
least
top
like
five-
30, like
To
at
get a
least
top
30.
5, you're looking at around 30 goals in the league.
That's what Abelio did.
I would think so. I This is the hardest one to mark for me because it's not like I have easy access to find out what the top 5 each year were.
Yeah.
It's generally
Yeah.
just notes the winners. There hasn't been one that's won since like the early 2000s when
Yeah.
Mario Yardel was in Portugal. My pure gut feeling is that this is somewhere between me and Sean's. Like, I think it's less than 50-50, but not by much, because I feel like there will be some lunatic who scores 30 in one of the second tier leagues.
Yeah.
I think I'm on
Then-
that side of the fence as well.
So what did... So mine was...
Yours was
Yours was doubled,
double.
mine was
2.5.
2.5, so
So
I'm
we go
like,
2.25?
Sure.
that's that's
Uh,
roughly where I'm at.
If
I think
So she's on 6.
6 and 9. So that.
I-
So 6 is 13.5 at 2.25.
Yeah.
yeah.
And 20.25 for 9. So you're looking at what, like 14 and 21 as your sort of benchmarks if you're looking at sitting.
Because it's Eloise, I want to skew high to stop her being a coward as she often is on the bonuses.
Yes.
So I'd be inclined to do like like 6 and 12, 9 and 25.
Okay.
I think that's feasible.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Eloise?
I wanted to go high this whole time, so thank you.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Interesting. She's exited her big
She's
win era.
We sure have, and we have all indeed gambled. Let's go gambling.
Yes.
I am most at risk here
Yeah.
because I don't gain as much as you lot do.
Nope, we sure don't. But pick someone that's less likely to happen next time. and you'll
Yeah, I
do it.
didn't think you'd think it would be as likely as I think it's gonna be, but
Okay, that's fair enough. And with that, we will leave it there. We will do the results for this sometime like May or June or
May.
something. It'll be a long time away.
we would have probably all forgotten what we picked.
We sure will have done.
I already have.
Yeah, same here. So
He's already like that team that stayed up. He's with a few games to go. He's already thinking about being on the beach.
yeah, I mean, in this weather, I probably would be somewhere not the beach, to be honest.
Western Supermare, lovely place, time of year.
Absolutely, all the beach there, not at all. No, not at all the mud.
All the mud.
Yes,
Up the mud.
not the mud.
Oh, see, he's already on the beach.
He's on the beach.
That doesn't look like Western Supermare.
Yeah, it's
and,
more like Torquay.
and on that bombshell, I will leave it here. See you for the next episode in whenever it's gonna be. And remember, be big mystics, not big mistakes. I
Why
think I
can't
got
we
it
be
right this time.
both?
He got it right.
Yay, I remember. Let's go. Anyway, bye.